I must ask you to believe me when I say that I have never made a statement of this description, that the masses of India, if it became necessary, would resort to violence.
Mahatma Gandhi is widely revered for his role in leading India to independence through non-violent civil disobedience. However, like all historical figures, his legacy is complex and he has faced criticism for various reasons. In this video, we will examine the criticized attitudes and behaviors of Mahatma Gandhi. These incidents might make you see him in a different light, challenging the image of the revolutionary saint. So stay tuned for an in-depth look at Gandhi's controversial side. Did you know that Gandhi held controversial views on race during his early years in South Africa? He made derogatory remarks about black Africans and held opinions that many would consider racist today. Though his views evolved over time, this part of his history is often criticized. Gandhi said during an address in Bombay in 1896, "Ours is one continual struggle against a degradation sought to be inflicted upon us by the Europeans, who desire to degrade us to the level of the raw kafir, a term now recognized as hate speech and considered equivalent of nigger in the United States, whose occupation is hunting and whose sole ambition is to collect a certain number of cattle to buy a wife with and then pass his life in indolence and nakedness." Gandhi described black Africans as savage, raw, and living a life of indolence and nakedness, and he campaigned relentlessly to prove to the British rulers that the Indian community in South Africa was superior to native black Africans. Some of Gandhi's personal practices, especially his experiments with celibacy, have sparked controversy. He shared his bed with young women, including his grandniece, to test his self-control, which many people find inappropriate and troubling. He called his wife a cow and refused to sleep with her. Of course, you can have a commitment to celibacy, but not say that your wife isn't a good enough test anymore because she looks like a meek cow. And so, she is not desirable. At the fag end of his life, as communal riots erupted all over India, killing thousands of people, Gandhi thought that perhaps it had something to do with his own lack of moral purity. Under these circumstances, Gandhi decided to test his self-discipline by testing his celibacy afresh with 2 of his nieces. Gandhi also indulged in shared baths with his physician, Dr. Sushila Nair. Many people find this behavior inappropriate and troubling. But it may be interesting to note that Gandhi was linked with a guy also, Hermann Kallenbach, a Jewish German architect and bodybuilder when he was in South Africa. There is ample evidence in form of letters both wrote to each other, highlighting the intimate relation between the two. Gandhi's political strategies have also been debated. For instance, he supported the British during World War I, hoping to gain concessions for India afterward. Some critics argue that this stance contradicted his principles of non-violence. Gandhi was also unable to prevent the partition of India into India and Pakistan in 1947, which led to massive violence and displacement. Critics argue that his approach to communal harmony, although noble, was not effective enough to avert the tragic outcomes of the partition. Gandhi's strict and demanding nature extended to his family. His relationship with his wife Kasturba and his children has been critiqued as harsh and neglectful, raising questions about his personal conduct. During the Khadi movement, Gandhi told people to avoid foreign clothes. His wife, Kasturba, said wearing a Khadi sari was hard and heavy for doing chores. Gandhi got upset and told her not to cook because he wouldn't eat food she made while wearing foreign cloth, which he considered unholy. When Gandhi's wife, Kasturba, was stricken with pneumonia, British doctors recommended penicillin, but Gandhi refused the treatment, considering it alien medicine, and she died. Shortly after, Gandhi contracted malaria and allowed doctors to save his life with quinine. He also accepted an appendectomy from British doctors, another procedure he had previously deemed inappropriate. Gandhi's son, Harilal, lived his entire life in his father's shadow, constantly rebelling against his principles. While Gandhi promoted strict morality, sexual abstinence, and a stand against Britain, Harilal became an alcoholic gambler who traded in imported British clothes, directly opposing his father's boycott of foreign goods. Harilal even converted to Islam and changed his name to Abdullah before dying in 1948, just months after Gandhi was assassinated by a Hindu extremist. While Gandhi's contributions to social justice and non-violent protest are undeniable, this examination invites us to reflect on the nuanced aspects of his legacy. Share your thoughts on Gandhi's impact in the comments below.